So something that I find very frustrating but also interesting at the same time in The Sims 4 are apartment. So I wanted to build an apartment for an early graduated teenager who was deciding to live somewhere that's in the hustle bustle of the city. And so they're living at the 910 Medina Studios in the fashion district of San Myshuno. Now, personally for me, I find apartments so funny and unique because each and every apartment unit is a different shape, but also they have their own unique like lot traits and their own like values, and also like the neighbors and the festivals are in that town. Now, I'm building this apartment in the 910 Medina Studio apartment in the fashion district, and I don't really go to the fashion district that much unless it's like the Humor and Hijinks Festival, which is usually the festival that's in that area. But it is a very unique location because I believe Salim, last name I forget, it starts with a B, but I know Salim lives in this apartment. I kicked him out because he's just not needed for the story. Not at all. No, no, no. But I wanted to build a one bedroom, one bathroom apartment with the kitchen and living room open planned, but kind of like split down the middle with a spandrel in the middle. Now, I built this a long time ago, probably back in like, I don't know, like November or whatever. Whenever we got the Pastel Pop kit and the Everyday Clutter kit is when I actually built apartment. So it's been sitting in my video folder for a very while, like a long time. And when I tell you, I have several videos in my video folder just sitting there waiting to be edited. I truly mean it. I think I have at least maybe five, six, seven builds just sitting there collecting dust. And I just have to edit them all. And I don't know if y'all want to see them or not. I don't know if you are interested in all that, craziness of builds, but I do have a story for this build that I definitely wanted to share with you all because I've been really inspired lately to just like share stories. And the sim who's going to live here is named Chantal Rollins, and they recently graduated early because of their skills, their ambition, and just overall excitement of, adulthood. And the sim named Chantal Rowland moved from Copperdale, went back to Willow Creek to go live with, relatives, and then moved all the way back to San Myshuno in the city because they are recently like emancipated, I would say. And they're not, young, but like they're getting close to adulthood. They're like 17, 16, 17 and a half years old. And they're very bright for their age. They're very like knowledgeable and educational about what they want to do with life. And over the course of their years that they wanted to become a live stream influencer. And so they joined the live streaming career that came with high school years, but also had a very good hand of learning how to run a business alongside of it. And so they're working really well on their entrepreneur skill that came with the high school years pack. And I find that with storytelling, with teenagers specifically, they have a lot to offer. They're literally in the middle of everything. Like you have toddlers and children, teens, smack dab in the middle. And then you have young adults, adults, and elders. So they're like technically the middle child of The Sims. And they've always been like that since The Sims 2, I find. And for me personally, teenagers have a lot to offer because you can develop their skills, you can develop, their mood swings, you can develop relationships, even careers. And based on the involvement of the Sims franchise since The Sims 2, for at least for me, of learning more about teenagers because Sims 1 only had literal babies, children, and adults, but you couldn't really age up your child to anything higher unless you did something wacky. But since The Sims 2, they had like, they had personalities, they had turn on and turns off, they had memories, they had interests, they had everything. And then, The Sims 3, where I fell in love more with family gameplay, was Generations. And developing a teenager from, their from literally birth to where they are now, and graduation and prom and friendships and, private school, boarding school, whatever it might be. And then you go to The Sims 4 teenagers, they still have a lot to offer. And they have part-time jobs, they have, more skills, they have more aspirations, they have more activities and more friendships that they can bond. But including into the mix of high school years, they have like career day, they have prom, they have all the other cool things. But what I find so cool and very fun and kind of realistic in a way is that they can graduate early from high school. And after they graduate early, they don't have to go to the school anymore. So I find that very fun and like cool because you can technically build a story out of that. Like your sim either graduated or dropped out or got emancipated or whatever it might be. And I kind of want to do a storyline where I'm navigating a sim's life of from like their teenagehood, and they recently graduated early from high school, and now they're like living their life the way they want to live it in their own home. Because teenagers in The Sims 4, I don't know in The Sims 2 or 3, but I know in The Sims 4 that you can live on your own as a teenager because they're practically adults and they're all the same age or the same height as young adults, adults, and elders. So they're pretty much, grown at this point. And they can pay their own bills if they so please. Like go right ahead. You do you. But I think it's like really cool to see the involvement and the grown-upness of Chantal Rollins of learning how to navigate life as a new fresh adult but still a kid at heart, and being able to understand the business side of like live streaming and just building their own business. Like they're gonna be able to own their own lifestyle brand and then have all this like cool stuff happening to them, which I think is really cool. And I want to make the sim for you all as well, and being able to share the ups and downs, the highs and the lows of their life, especially with like their parents and where they used to live and everything. And they've been a very like a vocal person about their mental health, the industry, and how they really navigate everything. And they want to be like a advocate for people who felt like they were less than or felt like they had something to offer but didn't know how to do it, but also show people that they can do literally in everything in their life as long as they believe in themselves. And even if they don't believe in themselves, Chantal is there to believe in them. And I think there's a lot of, I was going to say misconceptions, but not really. That's not the actual word I want to say. It's more so of like the sim that I'm trying to create in my head is a person who has so many ideas and thinks of the beyond and thinks of the most wackiest ideas and thinks that it's going to be great, but lo and behold, it actually really isn't. But when you have the right friend group, which they did, they were able to kind of make those ideas into reality. They just had to meet the right people at the right time. And it happened. And something that I've learned over the course of me playing The Sims is that, you have to have the right friend group in order to be the most happiest. And I have the most supportive, amazing friend group in the world. And it's just awesome. But what I find how I navigate my life and how I put it into The Sims is like I want to see all of my Sims succeed and do the best that they be the best that they can be and do the amazing things that will make their life better. And I don't know. I think teenagers have just so much potential because they're like literally right there where they're on the verge of graduating high school or did early or going to university, like right then and there. And Chantal is thinking, do I want to be a early graduated person that is going to not go to university, or am I going to be an early graduate that goes to university right then and there but also pursues my career as a live streamer and an influencer and a mental health advocate? And I think they want to definitely do all of them. And I felt like for me when I was younger in high school, I was nowhere near graduating early because I was not that smart. But I felt as with me, I was always doing something. I was doing maybe three or four things at once. And I put all that pressure and all those influences into my Sims gameplay, but I have to have like the right moment and the right, environment to do and create those things. And for me, I am learning how to be more adult and be more sure and of myself. And I'm using like my platform for good, raising awareness like for charities like Hope for Haiti and St. Jude and the Starlight Children's Foundation and Pink One. Like there's just so many charities out there that I believe in that I want to be able to use things like YouTube or Twitch or whatever it might be to show that you're not alone. You can do everything and anything in your life as long as you put your mind to it. And that's what Chantal is all about. Chantal is all about, doing the impossible. If it's not, it's like if they think it's impossible or people think it's impossible to make something happen, Chantal's like, I can do it. I can do it. just watch me. I will do anything and everything to get there. It may take a couple of years, it may take short times, but I'm going to get there. And they believed in themselves ever since they were little. And now that they're like independent and living on their own and making things the way they want to make them is kind of inspiring. And sometimes I get very inspired by my own Sims, which is so crazy. But, they're fictional characters, but I think there's a lot more to them than we realize. And honestly, I cannot wait to make the sim and kind of share a little bit more about their life so you can understand a little bit more about them. And I'm gonna try and not use any custom content when I make Chantal. That way it's more available for everyone to download the sim and kind of be more inspired in, their gameplay and immerse into the sim itself. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the real-time tour of this apartment. It's very small, but it's very, very large in itself for the story. So when I was building this apartment, I knew I was going to fall in love with it just because it's small, it's affordable, not a lot of furniture, but there's so much depth and story to the build that spoke to me on a personal level. So I used a lot of the Everyday Clutter Kit, the Pastel Pop Kit, City Living, and Base Game. So basically 3 out of the 4 packs that, I used in the build because Base Game is free and I feel like, everyone has it at this point. So 3 out of the 4. But the one thing about this apartment that I really loved most about it was the Everyday Clutter Kit because there's everyday items that we use in your daily life. And for me, I have like this mailbox carrier thing that's on my wall in my entryway of my apartment. And I thought that was so personal and so nice and amazing that I wanted to use it in this apartment. And of course, like when you move to an apartment, you know your neighbors, you know the neighborhood, you just know the whole general environment of your living space. And so over time, you collect things like, these boxes, these shoes, the yoga mat, the clothing, the scarves, all the other fun stuff that you want to be able to make your apartment more lively. And with Chantal, moving from, the lovely suburban area of Willow Creek and then going to Copperdale for high school and then moving from Copperdale to back to Willow Creek and then all the way going to the San Myshuno for the city life, it's like over those courses of your years, you collect things that you buy, sell, trade, thrift it or steal or whatever it might be. And you just hoard it all into your own little space. And I kind of like it. So I wanted to make sure the entryway table had like, all this clutter on it and gave it that sense of story. And Chantal loves yoga, loves meditation, loves collectibles, just loves everything. And you will notice throughout this entire apartment is that there's so many mugs everywhere. Like we have mugs on these shelf units, we have mugs over here that are like dirty, we have mugs on this coffee table. I think I also have like a mug in here somewhere or like another tumbler, but like there's so many mugs and I am a mug collector. Like the amount of mugs that I have is ridiculous and I need to downsize, but the mugs look nice, so you're gonna keep on collecting. But you know what I mean, if you know, you know. But I wanted to make it where this kitchen was more like a galley kitchen in a way, but it was like open. So we have like a very small compact kitchen here with an island where the TV's on the island. So if you wanted to watch TV on your island over here, you could, or in your living room space over here, which is not really the best looking, but you gotta make do with what you have. And I wanted to make sure that this whole apartment didn't feel too cramped and crowded, but open, but with room for improvement, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and like made this like more traditional suburban kind of style living room. And it's something that I do pretty much 99% of the time is using the same couch, this lovely armchair, this end table. Like I use the same stuff in every build I do. And it's kind of funny, but also kind of sad at the same time. But again, we make do with what we have. But I wanted to also include the cork board with all the postcards on here, just saying that your sim is traveling, meeting people, pen pals online, they send you postcards. So I think it's like really cool that I added that personal touch here. We also have like some posters, a shoe rack where you can like take off your shoes, wear slippers, remove your shoes. We got this interaction through, I believe, Snowy Escape. So if you don't have that pack, I don't think you'll have this interaction, but I think it's open to like anyone now with base game. Either way, you can now, choose which ones you want to have if you have Sims visiting or not. But that is that. And then I used pretty much every single item from the Pastel Pop Kit in this bedroom. Like I have the bed, I have, this console table, the lovely doubled mirror action here with the gradient of life of that mirror. I think that mirror is very, very fantastic. And then I have like the desk, I have the tablet with the crystal, lamp here. I have the digital drawing pad, which honestly, now that I think about it, I actually have a drawing pad that looks exactly like that, and that's kind of funny. So like I said before, I do have a drawing tablet like the one on the desk that I just showed you. And let me just tell you, I find this very funny because looking at the Everyday Clutter kit and seeing things that I have IRL that resembles that kit is crazy. And personally, this tablet kind of looks like the one on the desk. It's the Huion Canvas 13 drawing display tablet, which I think is super, super cool if you want to have like, the screen on your tablet. So I have this one, and then I have this one right here, which is also a Huion tablet, but it's not one with a screen on it. It's the WH14-9 tablet. I don't know if they actually sell this anymore, but I have two tablets based on my preference, which one I ever want to use. But I think it's really cool that there is drawing tablets in The Sims 4 that resemble to my real life. And I love that. So I just wanted to show you. It's not sponsored, but I wanted to show you just because I think it's pretty cool to show real life imitates art type of moment. You know what I mean? But yeah. So anywho, like I was saying, I really love the Pastel Pop Kit and the Everyday Clutter Kit on how it resembles my IRL life, but in The Sims. And it's really cool to see like life imitates art type of moment. And honestly, I really love that we have like a small little tablet for a computer. I wish that this tablet was like functional, even though we do have like a drawing pad already in the game with base game. But I think if we had something like this that was useful, could be really, really cool. But of course, you cannot go wrong without, your lovely unicorn stuffed animal in the corner. So I went ahead and added in here because I felt like it matches the vibes of the bedroom. And it's just general whole color scheme that I was trying to go for throughout the entire apartment, but more so in the bedroom because that was technically more of the main focus, I would say. And then we have the lovely bathroom, of course, which honestly is not that exciting. But bathroom is a bathroom. Do what you want to do. It's there for your convenience, as you all know. But this is technically the entire apartment, and I'm falling in love with it. And I kind of want to build another apartment, but a little bit more different. Like maybe like an industrial one or a more grungy or a rundown apartment. I really don't know what I really want to do. But if you have any ideas for apartments, let me know in the comments below because I always use your ideas for videos anyway. But lo and behold, that is that. It's on the gallery if y'all want to download it. Just SpringSims as my gallery name or the hashtag SpringSims. It's all up there. All details down below. But either way, as always, do let me know down in the comments below as always of what you thought of today's build. But go ahead and like and subscribe to the lovely SpringSims channel to keep updated on videos. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!